Here's
right.
the big star.
Oh, yeah.
Gray Griffin,
I was like,
the
they're probably
voice,
like, we want to talk to Polly more in the
voice of Daphne, Gray Griffin.
Matthew
Sit down.
Lillard has told us all day long and told everyone that will listen that in voiceover land, I'm quoting you, Matt, that there's basically 6 guys and 4 girls that do everything other than the things we have to do, and she is one of the 4 superstars of all voiceovers.
Matt spent most of his interview with Yahoo bragging about me. It was very nice. And then they were like, okay, that's all we have time for. And he was like, oh, wait. Okay. Thank you, Polly. Hi. I've never done this before except for those 2 tables. So do you just go around? No, I mean, I've done Comic-Con before, but not like, this is such a huge project, so.
We just sort of shout things at you.
Okay, great. Just yell at me. I'm ready.
Tell us about the character and how you got into it.
Well, I've been doing Daphne for almost 20 years, and I do a bunch of other cartoons too. I don't know if you have kids, but I do. No kids are like. Well, you're young, so you probably. I was Emily Elizabeth on Clifford the Big Red Dog. Did you? Clifford, you want to hear a Speckle story, Clifford? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And Vicky on the Fairly Odd Parents. And all kinds of things. So, and I'm Catwoman in the new Arkham Knight video game. So I've been doing Catwoman for about 6 years. Like all the Arkham games. So I've done Comic-Cons before, but this is like such a huge. I was like, Kiss, like me and 2 other people in Kiss, and they're like, yeah, that's about what's gonna happen. I was like, that's amazing. Anyway, I was telling all my guy friends, I was like, I'm just gonna go do a panel with Kiss. Anyway, but I've never like had like a whole thing.
So what was that like? When did you actually get to meet them? Because I know, when you're actually doing the voice acting, it's alone.
Today is like when I met them, and I kept being that awkward person, like on the fringe, like going, okay, this is the time to introduce yourself, and then like a weird shift would happen. I was like, oh no, now I'm the weird person on the outside of the circle. Okay, I'm gonna go eat my sandwich. Then I was like, okay, now I'm going in, and then I do a little U-turn because it was just not happening. But finally, when we did the little Yahoo. There was an interview in there where they were coming out and we were going in, and I was like, okay, they're right there. They're walking past me. I've got to like shake hands. They were really, really nice. I shouldn't have been scared. And Gene grabbed me and was like, I like girls. And he like just like, and he put my head on his, I was like, hi. He like smashed my head on his chest and took a selfie. Yeah, so.
One thing that kind of, it bums me out a little bit is a lot of the bigger movies now, like when you look at Disney and stuff, they're not using voice talent as much as the big celebrities. What do you think about that state? Because, it seems, obviously you have no shortage of work.
Yeah.
You're incredibly talented.
Aww.
But, what do you think about the state of voice talent in large blockbusters today?
Well, I have an 8-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they don't care about celebrities. They just don't go. They go to see things if it looks good or if it seems like a fun story or seems funny. But I know that celebrities are able to, even just being here, like I got a free Bluetooth speaker, and it's just because I was standing with Matt and Polly. They were like, would you like a Bluetooth? And I could see the woman's like eyes go, oh shoot, like this is not a famous person. And I was like, yes, I would like that, thank you. I knew that they do bring a lot of attention to things, and they do interviews and they go on talk shows and stuff like that where like Conan's not going to have me on, but he'll have Matt on to talk about his projects. But I have been able to break through a lot of that by doing Scratch, because Disney's like, oh, we need, real, not real voice. They're actors and everything, but like we need voice actors to do the Scratch, and that they animate it to, and then they fill it in with, then they're further along in the animation. Then they bring all the celebrities in, they cast it like way later, and those people come in and just listen to our voices and do it. So I feel like I have a lot of, they animate to me, so I feel like I have a lot of say in like kind of building the character, and a lot of times they'll just throw you a bone of like, you can be, because I did The Book of Life, that movie, The Book of Life. I was the little grandma that's like, I was a beast in the arena, a beast, that little 90-year-old woman. But I did all of the female voices for that movie, and then they little by little filled them in with celebrities. But when they got to the grandma part, they put some big celebrity in, and Guillermo del Toro was like, "Where's that grandma was really funny that we had before?" And they were like, "Well, yeah, but she was just a voice person," and the studio was like, "You know what? We let's leave her in." So I got to do that, and recently, Studio Ghibli, nobody gets to do those anymore because it's all celebrities. But one day, I just got a call. They're like, can you come down to a studio? And I was like, okay, yeah, I went. And then I'm like looking at the animation, and I'm going to be like, ADRing the Japanese. And I'm like, is this Studio Ghibli? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And it was like, Kathy Bates and Ellen Burstyn and Gina Davis and Kiernan Shipka and Haley Steinfeld, and John C. Reilly played my husband. And I had this gigantic part, and it was the one that just came out when Marnie was there. I play the aunt. Like, she's the main, my husband, I was like, and I have like a big part. And my husband's like, well, like how many lines? Like 10? And I was like, no, like 40. I mean, she's a big part. And it was my favorite part in the movie. Like, she was funny, and it was just, so sometimes lightning strikes. I think if you just are around a lot, I'm always available. I'm scale, I make just the bare minimum amount that they are willing to pay me. And I think if you just keep at it and just to try and I just love animation so much, and I love artists and writers, and I just want to help like champion what they're doing. So a lot of times I'll do things for people. Like I just did, this guy on Twitter was like, I just created this thing and I would love you to do a voice for it. But he's like a student somewhere. But I said, well, send me I would love to see what you're doing because I'm just excited about it. And oh my God, it was amazing. These characters are just gorgeous, like claymation, like beautiful. And I was like, I'll do it. Like I said, can I just record it and I'll just send you files? And he was like, I mean, SAG shouldn't know about this because they're gonna be like, what? But it was just a student project, you know. But yeah, so I just send him my voice as the two main little boys, and he was like, oh my God, thank you so much. But I just get excited about what they're doing, and they get excited about what I can do, and you know, I just feel like you're just adding to the pool of things. When you're celebrating art, it all goes for the good.
Do you have tips for people wanting to come into the voiceover part of it?
Well, be an actor, like take acting classes, because it's not just about doing funny voices. It's really, it is acting. Some people just say, aren't you going to do don't you want to act anymore? And I'm like, no, I do. I act every day. But yeah, do a lot of theater, and you know, then if you really, want to do it, you know, I took classes where you meet like a lot of casting people at one time, but don't do that until you're really, really good, because I've seen people come in like really new, like thinking I'm taking a class with all these casting people, and it's like, no, you're not taking a class. You're pretty much just here to show them how amazing you are, not to like learn stuff. Because if they see that you're kind of green, they're like, oh, it doesn't matter how good you ever get. They're like, oh, that's that girl that came in. She was, you know. But it's like, of course you were just starting out. So like learn from other actors, or directors, and do lots of theater, and just wait till you're really, really good. Then meet as many casting people as you can. And also people who've wanted to put a lot of money into it and stuff. D. Bradley Baker, he's a great voice actor. He has a website called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. Go on there first before you pay any money for anything, because he's got a lot of great tips. And but I've also said, like, go on if you think, because I meet guys all the time that are like, I do great characters, and I'm like, you know, I work with so many incredibly talented guys, and it's so competitive. Even the best guys in Los Angeles are still like competing against each other. So I've said, like, go on Voice Bank, listen to, you know, Jim Cummings, Kevin Michael Richardson, Jeff Bennett, you know, D. Bradley Baker, Rob Paulsen, you know, listen to those guys. If you are as good as those guys or better, then spend money and try to do this. But if you aren't, you're not going to ever get anything. I know people that are really amazing that I hardly see, not because they're not amazing, but it's just not enough, you know, there's a lot of great people doing it, so. But there's always room for that really amazing person. There is. I've met some, you know, when Kari Wahlgren first started, I was like, holy crap, this girl's amazing. She's going to do great. And she is. I see her every week, several times a week.
So when you're doing characters like you're doing Catwoman for a few of the Batman games, the animation, you're doing Daphne, how do you switch gears between the two, because they're so different? Like, in your mind, how do you...
Well, usually I have like a little catchphrase, like with Daphne, I'm just like, jeepers, it's a creepy mystery. That's like kind of just how I click into it. And with Catwoman, I'm like, you're a bad, bad kitty. You know, so I just sort of like have a sentence, and it just kind of like gets you into it. And then if you're sucking, they'll be like, do you want us to play the reference for us so we can hear it? And you're like, yeah, for you. You play it for you.
Yeah. Of all the characters that you voiced, do you have a favorite?
Well, I love playing Azula on The Last Airbender. She was just a really evil, wonderful character, and really well written. And just her demise was she gets to go crazy, which is every actor's dream, to lose your mind. So yeah, I love her, and I love. I really loved Sam on Danny Phantom. Like, I don't know if when you guys were like younger, it was probably really popular, but she, you know, I just liked her character a lot, and I like doing that voice.
I also like to do little old ladies that visit their grandchildren all the time. I like to put a crazy old lady in almost everything I do.
Yeah.
Do you do any of the voices to your kids, like, or do they just kind of look at you weird, like, what are you doing?
My older son used to hate me doing it, and he was like, no. because I kind of make a weird face when I do things, and he's like, no, make a good, no, you make an ugly face. But now that he's 8, he loves it. I'm reading that the one and only Ivan. I don't know if you've heard of that book. It's about a gorilla that lives in a mall, and I've been doing all the elephant. Stella the elephant talks like this. She's very hybrid. And then there's like a little baby elephant named Ruby, and she talks like this, and she has a lisp, and she's very scared to be at the mall. And I do this little dog, Bob, and I do. Ivan's just my voice, but yeah.
I'm just curious, especially with having such an amazing talent. Do you ever fuck with people with your voices?
Well, I'm planning on. My husband just bought the earphones so that we can go on PlayStation, and I'm going to play Batman, but like as Catwoman. Like I'm going to talk to people as Catwoman and play my character. So we're going to be posting that on Twitter soon. We have to do it first. We just bought the headphones like a couple nights ago, so stay tuned.
What's your Twitter handle? Everybody else.
It's my maiden name, so it's at Grey Delisle, GreyDelisle, like Delisle. Yeah.
Do you find there's any difference between voice acting for video games and voice acting for TV and movies?
Well, I never do on camera anymore, but yeah. Oh, okay, she just asked it. Well, I'm like a really animated person in real life. I'm like, and I'm just always talking fast and doing weird things and voices. And people find it very cartoony. So when I do cartoons, like it fits in great. Because some people who do great on-camera work, they're just really flat when they do cartoons, and it's like, oh, how weird. They're in the room, they seem like they were doing really well, but when I listen back, it's just really flat performance. But since I'm so animated in real life, I sound like a cartoon. But so a lot of times they're like more realistic, right? More real for video games. I have to like really tone it down and really, just be boring. To me, it seems like I'm so boring right now, but it ends up sounding real.